Hey, now I know I literally just said in my video I uploaded about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago that I was gonna start using better quality, by better quality camera, which I do have, by the way, but I changed my cover art, whatever it's called, and I was really inspired to make this video because if you didn't see it, it's Abed from Community. So I thought, why not do a community review? It seems like a fair thing to do because season 5 is about to start, and it's being marketed as the repilot. That's what the season premiere is going to be called, and it's supposedly, if you've never watched the show, you can jump on at that point, at the beginning of season 5, which airs January 2nd. So I'm going to talk about the show because if you are one of those people that are jumping on, or if you are a big fan of it and you want to hear me talk about it, because I know I like to look at reviews of shows that I've watched a lot of, then you're in the right spot. So this is sort of just, I guess it's a review, but it's sort of just a discussion about, because right off the bat I'm going to get it uh, put on the table that this is my personal favorite show. Yeah, my favorite comedy, I'm gonna say, because um, I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan too, so I'm gonna divide those two and say that this is my favorite comedy. So to start, I'm going to tell you what the show's all about. So if you've heard of this show, it's a really people a lot of times talk about how it's a very weird show, and a lot of times they are known for being the show that parodies other shows or movies, which is partially true, but that's because the writer, Dan Harmon, who is an amazing writer, um, he knows his movies, so why not reference them? And the way he references these movies is with the character of Abed Nadir, and he's my cover art, as I mentioned him earlier. I'm getting sort of sidetracked. I'm going to get back on this after, but first I'm going to tell you what the show's all about. So, Community centers around a study group of, I'm just going to say the names because I forget the exact number. Um, the beginning of the show is about a lawyer who gets found out that his degree was fake, so he has to go back to a college to obtain his degree at this really just low-end community college called Greendale. And that sounds sort of like the premise for just a cheesy sitcom, which it's not. It's it's so much more than that. They took an idea like that and expanded it and made it just an amazing thing. So he uh, ends up meeting this girl, Britta Perry, and he tells her that he's a Spanish tutor, and he has a study group, and he was just hitting on her, and he wants her to come back after and see his study group, and that was sort of a way of him. He's going to say, "Oh, no one showed up. Now we can just study alone," and that was his way of hitting on her. But she invites her friend Abed, who's a little eccentric. I'm not going to go into the details of Abed because I'd like to make another video on that at some point in my life. So Abed gets there and he invites. I'm just going to say their names because, like I said, I don't know the exact number of people because it's going to frazzle me. He invites Troy Barnes, who is in the beginning of the series, he's sort of like the jock kind of type, but throughout the first couple of episodes, it becomes he becomes like a he becomes a nerd, and which is the perfect choice for his character. So there's Troy, there's Pierce, who is like he's Chevy Chase, and he's like this old racist guy. But he's all the characters in the study group you like. There's none that you're like, oh, it would be good if they weren't in it. Even Pierce, who is just an old racist man, you still like him as a character. He's not my favorite character, but I do like him. I like all the characters. So there's Pierce, there's Shirley, who is I'm not going to go into her past, but she's a really strong Christian woman. She wasn't always, but she is now. There's Annie, who is she used to be a drug addict. She was addicted to pills in high school, and she had some sort of mental breakdown, and she wanted to get her life back on track, so she goes back to college, and she's a really big overachiever, and so she's kind of like she's the first one to question that if Jeff, the lawyer, is a real tutor. I already said about Britta, Jeff, and Abed. So yeah, there's 7. I'm not going to go into the other characters right now. So all of them end up together, and Jeff gets them to turn on each other so he can say that they're untutorable, so he can leave with Britta. And he secretly has a source of getting the test answers from a professor at the college who used to be his friend. He helped him in a lawsuit once, I believe. So Britta gets all mad because he purposely got them all angry at each other, and so he leaves and gets the folder of test answers and trades his car for them. He comes back to Britta and says, if he calms them down, will she go on a date with him? And she says, sure, whatever. So he goes and does this improvised Jeff Winger. It's called a Winger speech if you've watched the show for a long time. Speech about friendship and how they're now a community, not just a study group, and so they're not fighting anymore. And then he says he wants Britta to go. They're like, no, excuse me, me and Britta have a date. And she's like, no, I just said that so that you'd calm everyone down. And then he gets mad and says, I made that up. That was I don't like any of you. And he leaves. He says he has the test answers and he doesn't need them. So he leaves and he goes and sits on the front and opens the folder of test answers, and all of them are blank. So he's back at square one. And then the whole study group ends up coming back out, and he says how like sad he is, and how not sad, but how easy it was for him to get things before, and he's just learning how to sort of do things the hard way. And they feel bad for him, and they say, well, it is your study group, so if you want to come back in, then we should. And the study group is for a Spanish class. I forgot to. Side note: the Spanish class is taught by Ben Chang, who's played by Ken Jeong, who's the I don't know what else he's in. He's in Knocked Up. Oh, he's the naked guy in The Hangover. You probably know him by now. He's Chow in The Hangover. He's pretty popular at this point. So basically the show is about them as a study group and sort of bonding, and throughout the thing they become a family, and it's a really it's a heartfelt show, but it is really funny too, which I love. And back to the character of Abed, he is like I said, I'm not going to analyze the character of Abed right now, but he is the reason that they get to do all the movie parodies, because he has trouble coping with life around him, so he rationalizes everything that it is a movie that he's seen. So pretty much the series of Community, without visibly showing this, is through the eyes of Abed, because everything is a movie pretty much. It's almost a lot of things that they do is sort of reference to movies, even though the show is not meant to be a parody show, because do not get me mistaken about that, because a lot of people have that in their head, and it's not. But that is the reason they are allowed to do so many storylines, is because of the character of Abed, which Dan Harmon has said in the past. Um, and that's why I love him, because he is by far the best character in the show, to me personally, and I know a lot of people will agree with me on that. I have a friend who thinks Troy is the best character, who is also a good character, because he is sort of, like I said, he started as the jock and then he slowly drifted into being almost exactly like Abed. So like, I can't complain about that. All the actors are good except season 4. Don't I don't want to get started on season 4. Don't watch it. Just don't. It's a different writer. Chevy Chase just kind of stopped trying, and it's a mess. But apart from that, all the acting is good. The writing is awesome. And I definitely recommend you check out that show, because it is an amazing show, and by far better than a lot of the comedies that are out there, by far. So I'm just thinking if I've covered everything, and I believe I have. So I'm going to be making a video at some point in the future about Abed, just analyzing the character of Abed. But for now, this is just sort of discussion about the series of Community. Be sure to check it out January 2nd when it comes back for season 5, which is you can hop on there. According to Yvette Nicole Brown, who plays Shirley Bennett, that you could just hop on there. You don't even have to watch the series, and it'd be like you could just watch it. But I do recommend you watch the full series, skip season 4 if possible. And yeah, if you like this review, and I do really promise that I will start to use an actual good camera. It was just because I literally haven't sat up since the about my channel video that I just did. So, and I really wanted to make this as sort of my first reboot sort of my channel video. So if you like this review, and I promise they're going to be better than this. This is sort of an improvised thing. I'm going to be putting some more thought into the other ones. But if you like this, and if you want to see more, then subscribe. And thanks for watching. Up in this Friday, I'll be reviewing American Hustle, and soon after that, I'll be reviewing The Wolf of Wall Street and 47 Ronin. So be sure to subscribe for that, because I'm honestly very excited for those movies. So thanks for watching.